Hello, friend. These are my top 5 viewed videos from March. Let me know which is your favorite one in the comments. And remember to like and subscribe. Here we go.
Number 5.
A man's brother invited him over for lunch. So he put the food in front of him. He looked at the plate and he said, "This plate does not look very clean." And his brother said, "It's as clean as soap and water can get him." So he started eating and there were like chunks of food and stuff that were like stuck to the plate. And he said again, "This plate does not look very clean." And his brother said, "I'm telling you, it's as clean as soap and water can get him." So he kept eating, and when he was done, his brother took his plate and he put it on the ground and he said, "Here soap, here water." And here come his dogs, soap and water. Eesh.
Number 4.
There once was a land called Trid, and the Trids were a peaceful farming people. But the best farmland was at the top of the mountain, and there was a giant who lived at the top of the mountain who, when they came to farm, would kick them back down the mountain. So they went to their rabbi and they said, "Rabbi, could you go up the mountain and see why this giant is kicking us down the mountain?" So the rabbi went up the mountain and he was there working on the farm, and he saw the giant saw him, but he did not kick the rabbi down the mountain. So he went up to the giant and said, "Why are you kicking the Trids down the mountain, but you're not kicking me down the mountain?" And the giant said, "Silly rabbi, kicks are for Trids."
Number 3.
A man found a service ticket for a locksmith shop. Told his wife, "You remember that padlock I was going to get a key made for? Must be like 5 years ago by now." And he said, "You know what? Just for fun, I'm going to take this down to the shop, give them the ticket, and see what they say." So he went to the locksmith shop and he handed the ticket to the man behind the counter. He said, "Okay, let me check on this." So he took it back, came back a minute later, and he said, "The locksmith just got it on the bench like 15 minutes ago, so he should be done with it in just a few minutes."
Number 2.
A small plane had 3 passengers on it: the smartest man in the world, a grandmother, and a Boy Scout. The pilot radioed back and said, "We're having some engine problems. I'm going to have to crash land. There's 2 parachutes, so you're going to have to decide who's going to use the parachutes." The smartest man in the world said, "Well, I'm the smartest man in the world, so obviously I'm going to need one of those parachutes." So he grabbed one and jumped out. The grandmother looked at the Boy Scout and she said, "You know, I've had a long and happy life, and you are just at the beginning of your life, so go ahead and take the parachute." The Boy Scout said to the grandmother, "Don't worry, there's still 2 parachutes. The smartest man in the world just jumped out with my backpack."
Number 1.
There was a fisherman who always came back with tons and tons of fish, and the game warden got suspicious. So the game warden went up to him and said, "Hey, how about you take me fishing with you?" And he said, "Sure, let's go fishing." So they went out to the lake, and they got in the boat, went out in the middle of the lake, and the fisherman opened his tackle box, and it was full of dynamite. So he lit a stick of dynamite, threw it into the water, and boom, it went off. And it shocked all the fish, and the fish started coming up to the surface of the water. The game warden's face got red. He's like, "Oh, what are you doing? You can't do that." So he reached in his tackle box, lit another stick, handed it to the game warden, and said, "Are you here to talk politics, or are you here to fish?"